Welcome, Degens, to another edition of the Degen Docs. Woo! We hope you're ready, folks, because the NFL season is here. No more predictions, no more mock drafts. No, the NFL kicks off tonight, and we are giving out our best bets and final fantasy takes for NFL Week 1. So we're happy you're joining us, folks, and we hope you're ready for a kick-ass show because we are about to go down. So we will do our cheers, and let's get this thing started. The NFL Week 1 Best Bets and Fantasy Tips edition of the Degen Docs on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Sign up with promo code SGPNDOC to score up to $1,000 in bonus cash. We're also brought to you by Rhythm. Get your 7-day free trial by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. And finally, make sure you enter the free roll football contest, up to $3,500 in prizes up for grabs. Go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/free roll to enter today, folks. All right. I am one of your hosts here, the OG Degen Doc, Mr. Sebastian Fearon here. But I am joined, more importantly, by my brother in degeneracy, Mr. Professor Locks himself, Derek Bennett. How we doing tonight, brother?
We are here, dude. The long await is over. The National Football League kicks off tonight with a hell of a game. And then what do they do? Give us a gift of a game tomorrow night, although it's in Brazil. But still,
hey, we don't have to go to Brazil to watch it. We're good.
That's exactly right. But then we got a full slate on Sunday. We got a Monday night game. I am absolutely
we're jam-packed.
Through the roof excited for
Thursday,
the next 4 or 5
Friday.
days.
You got college football Saturday, Sunday, Monday. This is going to be like Christmas morning. I mean, this is 5 days of like, I don't know. I don't even want to think about how many days, how many months it was. We were waiting for this moment. You were dreaming of this moment. It's all in front of us. Every team feels like they have their hopes up. You see, I'm sporting my Giants shirt. Yes, I think the playoffs are in the realm of possibilities. Am I crazy? Probably. But I can say that because it's NFL Week 1. We haven't played any games yet, and we're excited to kick it off. We've got a jam-packed show. So let's go ahead and get started here. And we're going to start with, how did that wind up in there? That's not, man. Well, since it's on, we might as well talk about the Florida State Seminoles being the only team to lose in 2 different countries, or continents,
Yeah.
In countries in 2024. Florida State sucks. The Florida Gators look like they suck, but more importantly, Florida State sucks more. So that's the only reason I'm happy. I know your Ohio State Buckeyes are looking a little bit better than my Florida teams, but at least you can make fun of Florida State, right?
That's true. I mean, I just can't wait until the 2 of them meet up at the end of the year. And, it's really going to be basically the toilet bowl at that point. Who is the shittiest team in Florida or Florida State?
And well, look, they play Samford this weekend, and I will be in Vegas. I will likely be in Circa.
That's right.
Probably drunk off my ass because it's a 7:30 game.
Right. Nothing wrong with that.
I have vivid memories of Dan Mullen's Gators team when they were going off the rails, and they let up 50 points to Samford. So. Let's hope for my sanity that doesn't happen, and we can just enjoy a nice clean slate here of the NFL. Speaking of the NFL, the other thing I want to talk about here is just really quickly, shout out to Ricky Pearsall, man.
Yeah.
Already back at practice. Not practicing, back with the team, right?
Right. He's been in the weight room. He's done a few things. He's literally inches, centimeters from death, right? And yet he's back in the weight room. He's back hanging out with the team. Evidently, he was all for the guys still going out and partying that night, even though he was sitting in the hospital bed, those kind of things. So you gotta love to hear that from a rookie wide receiver.
Yeah.
What else do you expect from a Florida boy?
That's what I'm saying. I know he played at Arizona State, but for the 2 years he was at Florida, Slick Rick, baby. That's where he really kind of ascended. But hey, we're happy that he's okay. He's healthy first and foremost. And then what a badass to take the gun and shoot the kid. Look, I'm not an advocate of shooting anybody.
Sure.
Someone
Right.
tries to kill you. I mean, now's your time, right?
Yeah.
I think I saw Slick Rick Wick or just Slick Wick. I don't know. We got to workshop John Wick and Slick Rick. Got to get him in there, but just a quick shout out there. All right, we are going to kick it off as we always kick it off. Look, folks, we're healthcare professionals. We're focused on injuries. So we're going to give you the injury update. We're going to go quick and dirty what you need to know for NFL Week 1. Obviously, for the latest and greatest information, make sure you follow us on social, especially at the Degen Doc.
Yep.
Let's go ahead and kick it off with Mr. Kyle Pitts. The classic, can we have a season without Kyle Pitts getting injured? Now,
no doubt.
Something that initially was kind of a bit of a scare because they just reported it, but it seems like he's been dealing with this mild tweak of a hamstring for 3 weeks. Any concern? I know there was definitely initial concern, but at this point, now that we have a little bit more information, he's practicing, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I mean, it's just a bummer, that one of the Falcons guys go down before the opening weekend against my Pittsburgh Steelers. But Kyle Pitts is just this is him at this point, right? He doesn't get up to the expectations that he had coming out of the draft. He's a big, strong, fast dude that just can't stay on the field and can't produce when he's on the field most of the time.
Yeah. No, look, I mean, the injury doesn't exactly scare me off. I just wasn't on him to start the season. It seems he was a full participant in practice today, so it seems like he's gonna play. Now, do I love the fact that he has a recent hamstring injury? No, because the number one predictive factor of future injury is a previous injury to that body part.
Yep.
So I don't love that. No.
Correct.
But I didn't love Kyle Pitts coming in. If you were someone who, for whatever reason, was infatuated with Kyle Pitts, don't let this take you off of him.
Mm-hmm.
But for everyone else who has a sane, logical part of your brain, just say probably another reason you want to stay away from Kyle Pitts this year, at least the expectations that the market is setting him at right now. A couple other ones here. Josh Downs, Indianapolis Colts, wide receiver. He has missed practice 2 weeks in a row. Now, this is someone we've talked about coming from a high ankle sprain. It looks like he's going to be a no-go. Now, my question to you is, say that he was able to play just 4 weeks after a high ankle. Is that someone you're backing, or are you staying away from?
I'm staying away from that. Just from a cutting standpoint, from a leaping, jumping standpoint, it takes a while to get some of that, even just the swelling out of ankles, right? So anytime we start talking about high ankle sprains versus medial or lateral ankle sprains, I'm definitely more concerned. And like you said, it's typically a longer timeline just because there's typically a little bit more trauma there. Because a lot of times there's kind of combo platters with those ankle sprains.
No, I agree. Hey, a typical recovery timeline for a high ankle sprain. Now, high ankle is above normally what we think of the ankle. It's more serious. It requires more damage. It connects your tibia and your fibula. There's syndesmosis of ligaments there. Typically, they can come back in 4 to 6 weeks, but there's a production tip around week until like 8 weeks out, right? It is a hard injury to come back from. Saquon had it. Austin Eckler last year just didn't look the same. So it looks like he may not even be active this week, but I am really kind of not looking to back Josh Downs for probably closer to week 3, week 4, the earliest, right? Gives A.D. Mitchell, the rookie, a chance to see what he can do. We obviously like Michael Pittman. So, I think he was going to get his touches either way. Another one that last time we talked on Monday, we didn't exactly know what he was going to be, and that is Jamar Chase. He's back at practice, his second day of practice. They listed him as limited. I think it listed as limited, like contract or rest or whatever. What are your thoughts about Chase? Have they changed now that he's back? He's got a couple of days of practice. Where are we at with Chase?
I don't think really anything has changed, from an injury standpoint, body standpoint. There's really nothing there. He's just holding in at this point. He's kind of choosing what he wants to do, when he wants to do it. And, he's been in the league long enough that I fully trust him to come into the season in shape and ready to roll. And, we've talked about his connection with Joe Burrow, tracking back even to LSU. They have a connection. I'm not super worried, but will he be a little bit more limited that first week or two, potentially, just from a volume standpoint?
Yeah, no, absolutely. A couple guys I want to quickly touch on who's like more administrative, don't really let this kind of change your opinion. Justin Herbert was added to the injury report with that foot injury. They basically, the league told him they had to do that because of what he was kind of limited during the offseason. And same with Christian McCaffrey. He got put on there with late as like an Achilles calf thing. We've known about the calf thing. He's had plenty of time to recover.
Sure.
So this should not change. I know it's going to be like, oh wow, they're added to the injury report. No, it was kind of more of an administrative thing. So definitely kind of just taking away any fears from those guys. Don't be jumping ship off of Herbert. Now, I've talked about Herbert, how I'm not super high on him this year, but especially a guy like McCaffrey, don't be trying to fade. Don't get cute. Don't fade Christian McCaffrey. Definitely in fantasy, and
keep him in the lineup. Herbert, on the other hand, very limited ceiling to begin with, probably, especially with Jim Harbaugh there now. But don't fade McCaffrey.
Some other quick news here: Devin White out for linebacker for the Eagles. Hollywood Brown out tonight for the Chiefs. We knew about that one, but for the Eagles, there, Nakobe Dean, young third-year linebacker, finally gets a decent chance. He's looked pretty good. He's had flashes. Coming back from a Liz Frank injury, though, 9.5 removed. I was looking at his tackle prop. It's already like 7.5. Might be looking to fade that because you're talking about a guy playing, a guy who hasn't had a lot of burn in the league, and he was playing his first game off a Liz Frank injury. What are your thoughts about a guy 9.5 months removed from a Liz Frank injury?
I'm not terribly concerned, but like you always say, like the only way to stay good at football and get better at football is by playing football. And he hasn't played much over the last 2-3 years. So, I think he is a serviceable guy to fill in for Devin White for sure. He's one of those Georgia guys that absolutely can fly everywhere. But it may take him a little bit of time to kind of get back into the game, if you will.
Yeah, no, love it. A couple things. Yeah, look, guys, we're bouncing around because we got a packed show. Again, if you want the full ordeal type deal, follow us on the Twitter there. But Curtis Samuel, a guy who I will talk about later, likely. He's a full go in practice. I think a lot of people are forgetting that Buffalo's number 1 wide receiver, he was getting a lot of buzz in training camp. I highly encourage you to not forget about Curtis Samuel, especially in the betting markets. He's a full go off that turf toe. I'm not a big Keon Coleman fan. What can Khalil Shakir do? The Arizona Cardinals defense is awful.
Very porous.
Terrible. Yeah. So that's one that I'm just kind of highlighting more for.
We'll talk about him a little bit more coming up in one of the other segments. But I'm not terribly concerned with Curtis Samuel. But definitely some numbers out there that are a little bit questionable to me.
Yeah. All right. Any other ones that definitely stick out to you from today? One I will mention is, Carolina Panthers tight end Tommy Tremble and Ian Thomas not practicing today again for the second straight week in a row. What does that mean? Well, fantasy-wise, probably not a lot. But rookie out of Texas, Jatavion Sanders, is suddenly going to have opportunities. And, I looked at his anytime touchdown price. I know DK is kind of juicing the shit out of these. So I would shop around. He was 6-1. I don't love it at 6-1. But you're talking about essentially a guy who's going to be a starting tight end. He is a more of a receiving threat out of Texas, Right. Look, he's getting thrust into an opportunity as a potentially, decent player. Something to keep in mind, especially as we start getting deeper in those betting markets.
With him being a rookie with his rookie quarterback, did they make a connection back in rookie mini camp, something like that? Who knows? So definitely something to keep a watch out.
You calling Bryce Young a rookie again? I know he was bad, but shit.
That's true. Never mind.
Don't put my guy Bryce Young down like that. You imagine? Could you? Let's just think.
He basically is a rookie. His freshman campaign was shit.
He was pretty bad. I'm not gonna say you're wrong there, but could you imagine if they put him back into trading rookie mini camp there? All right. Any other ones? The last one we're gonna mention here is Jordan Addison. Jordan Addison is practicing. He said he's gonna play week 1. Now he is only about 3 weeks off a high ankle sprain. He's working on towards week 4. He's going to be about 3.5 weeks when Sunday rolls around.
Yep.
We just talked about high ankle sprains and how tough they are to come back from. I think it's way too soon for him to come back.
Completely
I
agree.
am excited that he's coming back from the pants that, well, one, he's playing my Giants, and I think he's going to be a shell of himself. And two, I'm ready for the books to hang a line to go ahead and fade it. Am I crazy? Am I Giants bias, or what are you thinking about Jordan Addison?
No, I would agree. I mean, he's definitely pushing the limits at trying to return this early in the recovery process. But from a Vikings standpoint, I think this is a winnable game for the Vikings. Not to throw a shade at your G-men, but they may want all hands on deck, especially bringing in a new quarterback and all that kind of stuff. So I get it, but
I think it's a little aggressive here, and it's week 1. I know everyone wants to be out there, but I think we're taking a big risk.
They're down Hawkinson already.
That's what I'm
bringing in a new running back, bringing in a new quarterback.
Yep, Sam Darnold. Oh, I can't. Oh man, I can't wait to play Sam Darnold week 1. I just can't wait. All right, folks, that was your quick injury rundown. Again, as we said, hey, if you want the full deal, full battle rattle, as we call it, go ahead and follow us on the X there, and we're going to be putting stuff out all the time, and we'll give you updates there. All right, so we're going to look at the Thursday night game. We're going to give you a bit of a preview, tell you how we see it. But before we do that, we want to tell you about a great opportunity. And look, sometimes we get on here and you're thinking like, oh gosh, another read, some bullshit. No, I'm telling you right now, a chance to win $3,500 for putting in 0. And all you have to do is pick games. Yep. Just like the Sports Gambling Podcast has done since 2011 and pick NFL games against the spread. That's all you got to do. Enter the free roll football contest. Up to $3,500 in cash up for grabs. Sign up at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/free roll. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/free roll. Look, we'll be in the contest. You can bet against us. Essentially you start out with like 10,000 fake dollars, and whoever has the highest amount at the end of the season takes it all home. So there's no reason not to do it. It's free. You're going to be betting on games anyway. So make sure you come join us and bet on the games with us. All right. Let's talk about, before we get into Thursday night, let's go ahead and talk real quick about the NFL schedule. Hey, we talked about it last week. We're going to breeze through it a little bit. Mondays and Thursdays, 7 p.m.-ish, but 7 p.m. We're going to be going live on X and YouTube like we are now. Monday's show is going to be a little bit more fantasy football focused. We're going more into the injuries, more into, hey, waiver wire targets, things like that. We'll give out some early line locks, what we like right away, preview a little bit more of the Thursday game. But Thursday is really when we get into the nitty-gritty. That's when we give our quick injury updates. We're going props. We got our prescription bets. We got our love-hate for fantasy football. We're trying to make money Thursday. Thursday's where we pay the fucking bills. So make sure you join us if you're not already. But if you're listening, you're joining. So you know what you're getting. I will say this now. Before we get into our bet-heavy segment, I just want to throw this out here. All right? So I am absolutely stoked and excited to bet NFL Week 1. I've got a large, a decent amount of bets on it, right? Sure. However, no one has ever guaranteed a season of profit in the first week of betting, the first NFL week. However, you can guarantee put yourself in a big fucking hole that first week. So it's just a reminder, don't blow your entire bankroll on NFL Week 1. We're excited. Trust me, we're jacked for football, but I feel like I just got to say it. Hey, make sure you get into some bankroll management. Enjoy the week. Don't blow your load on NFL Week 1 because we got.
I heard blowing early is good.
Is that? Well, Let me tell you. I know you're in the honeymoon phase right now, but I have a feeling the wife is gonna have a sit down with you when you guys get back from the wedding night and then doing that. But all right, folks, let's get into games. Let's talk fucking football. I mean, it's here. It is in
about half an hour.
What now? And you know it ain't gonna start. That's just gonna start at like 8:30.
That's fair.
That's the earliest. But don't worry, we'll get you out of here right around 8. I feel like a fucking teacher. We'll get you out of here and don't run at the bell. Thursday night football, man. We talked about it last episode, but I want your quick takeaways. Games, kicking off soon. How do you see it going down? What's a play that you like from the game? Where are you at? Are you staying away? I hope you're not staying away. It's the first fucking game. So.
Nope. I placed quite a few things earlier today. Had a couple things thrown in a couple days ago, but this is obviously a big time matchup against the Ravens and the Chiefs. I would tend to lean more Chiefs in this one,
Woo!
just because of all the changes that the Ravens have undergone over the offseason, man. They're bringing in 3 new offensive linemen. They lose Patrick Queen to my Steelers.
Oh, wow. Patrick Queen. Okay.
I'm just saying. Obviously, they bring in King Henry. We'll see how that offense changes now that they have a true every down back in Derrick Henry. And maybe every down is a little bit of a stretch, but a true stud running back to pair with Lamar Jackson. But, the Chiefs are running it back. The only guy that they lost was Snead. And, that defense last year was lockdown, shut down. And I really think it'll be about the same. They have historically played very well against the Ravens. Spagnuolo can always dial something up to throw Lamar, off his mark, if you will. But
what are we going with?
Said,
you taking Chiefs?
I've already taken the Chiefs.
-3 or on the money line?
Both, actually.
Oh, all right. Well, obviously, if you like one, you like the other. But just seeing how confident you were, because I absolutely disagree. I absolutely wholeheartedly disagree. And I can't wait to be going against you in week 1. Look, we like to be unified and give out takes, but when we see it differently, we're going to fucking tell you we see it differently. I really like the Ravens tonight. Last time they played an AFC championship, 17-10 game, the Baltimore Ravens averaged over 5 yards a rush. The part is they stopped fucking running the ball. I don't understand it. Now, as someone who was on the Chiefs in the playoffs, I was ecstatic because they basically bailed them out. Mm-hmm. I don't see them doing that again. You do not bring Derrick Henry in here to not run the football. I think the Chiefs have trouble stopping the run. As good as Chris Jones can be, he's getting older there. He's kind of in and out of the lineup on a snap count. I like Karlaftis. I think he's a good piece.
Stud.
But you traded away what's his name? Oh, geez. Willie Gay. He was the guy who spied Lamar Jackson. And Lamar Jackson rushed for almost 7 yards a rush last time they played. I think this is an ugly, low-scoring game. I love the Ravens defense as much as it pains you to hear that as a Steelers fan. I think they have one of the best secondaries in the league. I understand you got rid of Patrick Queen, but you have Roquan Smith. You have some good pieces with Nnamdi Madubuike.
That's right.
In the front. You got Owe. I think they have a decent enough pass rush front seven. I love their secondary. And let's be honest, the Chiefs don't give a shit about the regular season. We saw it last year.
T Swizzle does, though. She's going to be in the building tonight. She's going to most likely. I mean, if I were to script tonight's game, I'll say 14-20 game going into the fourth quarter.
Oh, geez.
Chiefs have the ball, driving down, 2-minute drill.
Jeez.
Toss it out to Travis. He's got, some
What's
sort
he
of
fucking propose on the field too?
Yes, exactly. He has a ring somewhere. They're handing out rings tonight. We're hanging banners.
We just talked about not blowing your load.
We're hanging banners tonight. We might as well bring it home.
That's awful. I can't wait to clip this later, and the Chiefs get their ass kicked, and Taylor Swift isn't even at the game. Oh man, I can't wait. No, I mean the fact that you're bringing Taylor Swift into it makes me feel better about it. Travis Kelce wasn't practicing this offseason. He didn't give a damn. He was a backup dancer, man. I really like the Ravens in this. Their defense, they're going to run the ball. They're going to control the clock. I like them +3. I like them on the money line.
Hey, Pat and Travis have probably danced more frequently together than Taylor and Travis have. Let's be honest.
Okay. All right. But hey, look, folks, we differ. Hey, what do you think? Let us know in the comments. Who do you think is going to win tonight? What's your lock for that game? I also like Patrick Mahomes under 269.5. Look, it's just a high number. Last time he played, he was around 240 mark. I think it's a low-scoring game. He doesn't have Hollywood Brown there. He's getting used to, Xavier Worthy. I think Travis Kelce is going to take a couple weeks to get going. So I do like that, and I like the Ravens secondary. I just think it's a low-scoring game. I think it's going to be a game that flies because it's going to be a lot of ground control. So anything else from that game, or are you ready to move on?
Nope, just lock up both starting running backs to score. That's all I have.
Both starting running backs. Let's see. I can't. I gotta disclose.
Pacheco and Henry.
I'm not advising this because I got it early, but I took Justice Hill and Carson Steele to both score. Let me see if I can pull that up real fast at what that number was that I got that at. See, the problem is that DraftKings is. Can we talk about DraftKings for a second?
They are definitely juicing the anytime touchdown.
That whole they came out with a tax. They want to charge that surcharge tax, and now they're just putting it into the lines. Yeah. So I mean, look, we go off DraftKings here, but that may be changing here soon. But Carson Steele, Justice Hill, when I put it in on the 27th, 70-1 if they both score. So if they do that, that's all. That might be all I'm rooting for. Is let the backups get in, baby.
There we go.
But all right, enough of Thursday night. We're talking about now. We're moving forward, and we are going to be talking about the plays we feel the best about. That's why we're going to be talking about it here. First, we're going to head over to the fantasy world, and we are going to go ahead and talk about who we love and who we hate this week. Obviously, first Thursday show, dropping a bunch of new segments. This is one of them. Love, hate, fantasy football. So we can just go back and forth. You want to start off or you want me to start it off?
Sure, I'll get it rolling. So with Curtis Samuel, obviously he's moving up to Buffalo. We don't exactly know who that number one wide receiver is going to be, but based on who is there, Curtis Samuel is the guy. He's proven himself the most in the NFL. Yep. And one thing we already talked about the whole turf toe thing. We're not too concerned about that, but something that I don't know if you know, Seb, but do you know offensive coordinator Joe Brady and him were together down in Carolina back in 2020?
Oh,
that was also Curtis Samuel's best year yet.
Look at that nugget. I did not know that. I mean,
they already have a little bit of a connection there. Curtis Samuel this is obviously going to be the best quarterback that he's ever played with. So yeah, I think Curtis Samuel will definitely play well this week. And obviously we have to figure it out with him and Keon Coleman and Shakir and all those guys up in Buffalo. But if I were to put some money out right now, I'm betting on Curtis Samuel to end up being that number one wide receiver in Buffalo.
And he's so low priced, man.
Yeah.
Fantasy.
Plus, he played Arizona last year. I think he had 6 catches for 60 some yards or something like that.
Love it. Yeah, and let's not forget Arizona's defense might be the worst in the league.
Yep.
Like by a lot. They fucking suck. Yep. All right. We're talking over to the hate side. I'm going to rattle off a couple of these here. Dallas Cowboys running backs. Can you tell me confidently who is the RB1 in Dallas? We've heard everything from, oh my God, Dalvin Cook's old ass looks good. Zeke's old ass. They brought him back. He's going to be our starter. No, actually, we're going to go back to Rico Dowdle, who had a lot of opportunities last year and really didn't show us much.
Didn't do anything. Yep.
I mean, Zeke is the guy, I guess, who was the most productive last year. Yeah. And speaking of Zeke, he had better stats than Ramondre Stevenson on the Patriots. So if we're going to shit on Zeke, then there's no way I'm going to be high on Ramondre Stevenson, who I know he struggled with injuries, but you had the opportunity of the world. I mean, he was the fantasy football darling last year in Ramondre Stevenson, and he didn't do a damn thing. Yeah. And that offensive line, Cole Strange is on the pup. You got City So dealing with an injury. They're awful. They're clear. I mean, they're so bad that they decided to say Drake May is clearly the starting quarterback of the future. He is the best quarterback we have on our roster. We're going to sit him because our offensive line is that bad. We're going to go let Jacoby Myers be a sacrificial lamb. So you think the running back is going to carry? You think they're going to be leading in any games to be able to run the ball enough? So don't love Dallas running back. Don't love Ramondre Stevenson. And the other guy, Jordan Addison. We talked about him. He's only 3.5 weeks off a high ankle sprain. It's just entirely too soon to try to return to be anywhat productive of what he was. I understand. I can admit he's got a good matchup, right? Our secondary is definitely a question mark as the New York Giants, but you got Sam Darnold throwing you the ball. I think they're going to lean a lot on Aaron Jones and a lot on that running game and not have Sam Darnold throw the ball 40 times. And you got Justin Jefferson, right? I mean, that's who they're going to be targeting. So I don't love Jordan Addison trying to rush back from this injury. So that's our hate list. Why don't you finish up with the loves there?
Let's do it. So with Baker Mayfield, we've talked before how Tampa Bay is basically running it back plus a couple dudes. So we bring in Barton at center. So, I mean, obviously Baker's going to be touching some different ass this year than past years. But other than that, you bring in McMillan from Washington and you still got Mike Evans. You still got Chris Godwin. You still got Rashad White.
You're still playing the Washington Commanders.
And that's where I was heading next. What a pull for the first week to go up against the worst defense in the league last year. Baker's coming off a career year. Washington gave up over 30 points a game last year. And they didn't do a whole heck of a lot in the offseason to improve their defense. Obviously bringing Jaden Daniels, you're bringing some pieces on offense, but defensively, they didn't hardly do anything. So at least, and Baker, I think he was one of our waiver wire guys.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, he's available out. He's available all over the place. So he's definitely worth a look, especially this week. But yeah, I think Baker's going to have another pretty good year. Heading to Zamir White out in Vegas. What other running backs does Las Vegas have? Like
Alexander Madison.
Alexander Madison got ran over in Minnesota. Minnesota tried to give him that lead back role.
They couldn't get rid of him fast enough. I mean, they brought in Cam Akers over him.
Exactly. So we already know that Coach Pierce is smash mouth football. He's going to pound the rock. He's going to play defense.
And obviously
middle
linebacker.
Exactly. And he's, they'll get it to Devontae Adams at times, but Zamir White showed over the last 4 or 5 weeks of the season that he can be a dude. And I really expect him to continue with that, with one of the better offensive lines in the league leading the way in front of him.
Yeah. Nope. You will hear a couple of those names down the line here. There's a reason why we love them in fantasy, and it can translate to the betting market. So moving over to the betting markets, props of the week. These are our top 4 or 3 favorite props of the week. Listen, folks, I'll kick us off here. And over here, we like real football. And what I mean by real football is we talk both sides of the ball, because you can make money on both sides of the ball, and it all got to come together, right? We're not only talking about, I'm just only talking about the sexy offense. No, real football is played on both sides. And thankfully, the betting markets are letting us play. All right, so I'm going to get through these a little bit quickly here, but Bills linebacker Terrell Bernard, over 7.5 total tackles. He was the leading tackler on this team. He especially popped off and really had some double-digit tackle games after Matt Milano went out for the season last year.
Mm-hmm.
Matt Milano is on the pup with a bicep tear and likely out for the season, but he's definitely out week 1. Terrell Bernard, I know we're paying a little bit of juice here at -130. I wish one day they'll give us total tackles. I know that's a lot to ask right now. We're getting new into the defensive side, but I think it's a smash play here. He is going to be all over the field, whether it's James Conner, Trey McBride, Marvin Harrison, Kyler Murray. He's going to be tackling everybody. I love Terrell Bernard here. He averaged over 8 tackles a game last season. Again, he was Buffalo's leading tackler, and he especially went off when Matt Milano's out. Curtis Samuel, 40-plus receiving yards, +180. We've talked about Curtis Samuel a lot. I would look, if you have it available, and I think it will come out a little bit closer, to his alt rush and receiving, because they've talked about getting him involved in the running game as well. They're using him in a lot of different ways. We're not concerned about the turf toe. He's had plenty of time to recover from the turf toe. He's fully practicing, including today. I think he's going to be Buffalo's wide receiver number 1. 40 yards is going to be a piece of cake, especially against the Cardinals. How many times we got to say it? The Cardinals have such a bad defense. We might as well take advantage of them. I'm halfway through. Why don't you give yours out so I don't just talk the whole time?
Sounds good. So we already talked about a couple of these guys. So Zamir White's over is set at 56.5. I think he covers this easily. I think the last 4 or 5 weeks he averaged like 15 or 16 carries a game. If he does that, he has to average like 3.25 yards a rush. I think he does that easily. With Kyle Pitts, obviously he's ended up with this hamstring issue going into week 1. And who do they play? The Pittsburgh Steelers, one of the best defenses in the league. They definitely upgraded that middle linebacker position with Patrick Queen. They still have some dudes from last year, but you got Minkah Fitzpatrick in the at safety. I think they'll be able to cover Kyle Pitts, whether he's at full health or not. So I am going to take the under on Kyle Pitts' receiving yards. And then Joe Burrow, my dude. I mean, 252, he'll do that in the half, most likely, against the New England Patriots. Now, obviously, we got the whole Jamar Chase situation going on over here, but we've talked about those two already have a connection. T. Higgins is still there. You bring in Mike Gesicki. You bring in the kid from Alabama,
Jermaine Burton.
Burton. There you go. And then what's that other wide receiver?
Andre Iosivas, the guy.
Yosivas or whatever.
Yeah, look, man, you're asking for a lot. I gave you exactly. Andre, all right?
But I don't know if we've forgotten how good Joe Burrow is.
I think a lot of people have.
Yeah, I mean, he's an absolute stud. His thumb is fine. I think he does
this.
This
isn't going to fall off after the first throw.
Exactly. Yeah, I think he does this halfway through the third quarter against that New England secondary that is a shell of that New England defense that we're used to seeing.
Yeah. No, my only concern with the Burrow play, I mean, I love Zamir White. I love Zamir White. Not a Pitts guy. My only concern with Burrow play is that they're up by so much at half that he's rested. But I think it, it's the NFL.
Yeah,
I don't think it's
but before he went out, he was leading the league in attempts. Do you think?
True.
You think Coach Taylor's going to pull the reins back just because they're up by 20? I don't think so.
That's a good point.
Keep putting it on.
That's a good point. No, hey, I definitely like it. All right, finishing up mine. Bryce Huff over quarter of a sack. He had 10 sacks last year. He joins an Eagles defensive line, where he's going to be the guy. You got some good pieces in Jordan Davis in the middle there, and a couple of those Georgia Bulldogs taking up some space in front. But really, the Green Bay Packers have a 7th round guy. He was a 7th round pick in 2022, Rasheed Walker, as their starting left tackle. The days of David Bakhtiari are gone. There's been some shakeup on that Packers offensive line. I think the Eagles are going to feast a little bit. As much as it pains me to say as a Giants fan, Bryce Huff is a hell of a player. He was a hell of an addition coming off a great kind of season with the Jets. To get a quarter of a sack, whether he splits a sack or he gets one himself, I think plus 150 is still a little bit mispriced. So give me Bryce Huff there. And then Baker Mayfield, shake and bake. We talked about him, how we love him this week. He's going up against an awful defense, and he's going to run it back. Look, I'm taking his over 247.5 passing yards. I think it's too low. I'm also playing up, if I'm being honest, 300 passing yards for him is plus 350. So, I mean, if you want to ladder it up, I'm definitely doing it. I think Baker Mayfield has a chance to. I think that offense has to explode. And I think it's a game that not a lot of people are thinking of. I think there's going to be some points in that game. Agreed. So, whether it's DFS or whatever you're targeting, I think that game is a really good one for some overs and some props there. All right. We are moving on to Underdog Fantasy. Look, Underdog Fantasy is back. They've always got these specials and boosts and pick'ems. And the best thing about it is we have a promo code to get you a free, yes, don't read the graphic. It is a free $1,000 up to $1,000 in the deposit match. All you got to do, you don't have an Underdog Fantasy account, super easy. You could do it right now. You could do it, and by the time I'm done with this ad read, you pull up Underdog Fantasy, you click sign up, you put in your little information, you use promo code SGPNDoc, and boom, if you deposit $1,000, you get $1,000 instantly. Say you only want to deposit $500, okay, then you'll get $500 interest-free, up to $1,000 in bonus cash. And we're big Underdog people here, so you're going to see this every week. One, they've got a free pick, Travis Kelce, over half a yard. Basically, the free square and bingo to try to help you give you more of their money. And we've got a nice little Underdog 4-team play that we're going to go through really quick and tell you why it's our Underdog play of the week. So, my friend, why don't you kick us off here with the first two, and I'll bring us home with the last.
Sounds good. So, Baker Mayfield, and I can't necessarily see the numbers here. Over 248.5. You just got
higher.
Or higher than 248.5. You already talked about how we like Baker Mayfield with this offense. Terry McLaurin, much, much, much better quarterback than he's ever probably had in Washington. Yeah. And he is an absolute dog. Mm-hmm. So we're going higher than 16.5 receiving yards with Terry McLaurin.
Love it. Tyreek Hill. Dude. He scores touchdowns. I mean, whether it's on the ground or through the air, he scores touchdowns. I know I have concerns about the Dolphins defense this year, especially week 1. Jalen Ramsey is not practicing right now with a hamstring injury. They've got some concerns. Jalen Phillips is going to be on a snap count. Bradley Chubb's not back, but the offense is going to fly. I know their interior offensive line needs to work some things out, but Tyreek Hill, the Jaguars do not have somebody who can lock down Tyreek Hill. I mean, let's be honest. There's not many individuals. There's not many humans in the world that can do that. So Tyreek Hill to score is easy. And then James Conner higher than 12.5 rushing attempts. What are we talking about? James Conner is the RB1, is the RB1. I know Trey Benson is people just fall in love with rookies. They love the shiny new thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
James Conner is the reliable guy. To get him 13 carries, I think he could get that in the first half, right? I mean, I think that as much as we talked about how shitty the Arizona defense is, I think their offense is actually going to surprise some people this year. I think this might be a high-scoring game where we get some decent points. And, I don't expect – Kyler Murray's back, folks. He's back from the ACL tear fully. I'm not expecting him to get blown out. I think he's going to run the ball. So we got Baker Mayfield higher than 248.5 passing yards. Terry McLaurin higher than 60.5 receiving yards. Tyreek Hill higher than a touchdown or 0.5 touchdowns. And James Conner higher than 12.5 rushing attempts. That pays you out a nice 10-1 there. So go ahead and get that. And hey, you get a free $1,000 and then we can bring you a nice 10-1. That's not too bad. That's not too bad. Listen to a little bit of the promo code. So use promo code SGPNDoc, all caps, all one words for your promo deposit today. All right. We ready? Best bets.
Do it.
Best bets. We've got best bets, Degen parlay, and then we're all going to enjoy cashing our week 1 bets, except if you're Derek because he decided to bet against me and take the Chiefs. So I will let you lead off. We'll go. Why don't we go 1-1 here?
Sure. So Tampa, what are we talking about? 3.5? Are you kidding me? Against Washington?
Yep.
I mean, you're talking about the NFC South champs going up against the bottom tier of the NFC least, if you will. So I think Tampa's going to put it on them. I don't see how Washington necessarily stops Tampa's offense. Tampa Bay can still play some defense. And put some pressure on the rookie Jaden Daniels.
Yeah. No, I love this pick. Love it. I saw you had it on there, so I wasn't going to double up already on the first episode, but we talked about Baker. We talked about that offense. We talked about the lack of defense on Washington, and Jaden Daniels is still a rookie. Although he's likely the best quarterback Terry McLaurin's ever played with, he's still a rookie. It's still week 1. They still have Levante David, Antoine Winfield to shore up on the middle of the field there, and Vita Vea too. So,
Nancy. Yep.
I love that play. All right, mine. Going with old reliable. I'm taking a division rivalry game under Carolina and New Orleans under 41.5 minus 112. These offenses suck. I mean, sometimes it's just that simple, folks. Both of these defenses are better units than their offenses. It's a rivalry game. It's the first week. This is going to be such an ugly, ugly game. The fact that this is going to be 6-3 going into the third quarter, and we're going to try to watch, Bryce Young or Derek Carr try to figure it out in the last drive. Just play the under here and don't watch the game. That is my advice for this one. It's going to be an ugly, ugly game like all of these games typically are. Defenses are ahead of offenses. Both these quarterbacks struggle to put up points. Even if they get you to the red zone, touchdowns are hard to come by. Give me the under 41.5 for this one. All right, what do you got?
So really, we can both talk about this one, but we both like Detroit. It just depends on how much of a spread you want to
how much you like them.
Yeah. I mean, I mean, Detroit, I think, is going to be on a mission this year, and it's going to start with week 1 with MCDC, and I really don't think this is going to be super close. I didn't start stretching things out like you did, but give me the lines.
I mean, look, I like the Rams. I was trying to be high on the Rams, right?
Yeah.
I want to fade the 49ers this year. I was a little bit higher on the Rams. I think I even gave them out to win the division. They're in trouble week 1. folks. They're in trouble. If you have not looked at their depth chart, they're in trouble week 1. Detroit Lions are my Super Bowl pick this year, so I'm obviously high on them. So I'm taking them as an alt spread -7 at +141. Derek's taking them as the traditional -4.5 that just bumped up. It was sitting at -3.5 a lot, but the Rams just put their starting cornerback Darius Williams on the IR, so he's going to be out, right? Again, no Aaron Donald. Now we have a situation where the offensive line for the Rams is very misaligned. You have their starting left tackle, Alaric Jackson, suspended for 2 games. You have their starting right tackle, Rob Harvenstein, dealing with a bit of a high ankle sprain. They've got questions, a lot of questions. And as much as I like Cooper Kupp, Puka Nacua, and Demarcus Robinson, their defense might be not great, especially starting off. You're relying on Tre'Davious White coming off an Achilles tear and an ACL tear to be your lockdown cornerback. And Colby Durant on the other side is dealing with a hamstring injury. And he's the backup that now has to get put in because Darius Williams is out. This could get ugly. I know this is a Sunday night football game. I want it to be a good game. Detroit might beat the shit out of them. Like, this might get really ugly. So
it could end up being one of those like middle of the season when 2 shitty teams are playing and nobody wants to watch. Like halfway through the second quarter, that might be this because Detroit could put it on them. I don't see LA stopping them at all.
I just think Detroit is a really complete team this year. All right. Las Vegas Raiders. Las Vegas Raiders. Hey, maybe it'll be the fact that I'm going to be in Vegas.
You're just going to be a homer. That's exactly
I'm not trying to be a homer, but Las Vegas Raiders, the last time they played the Los Angeles Chargers, remind me what the score was?
There was like 80 points scored. I don't remember.
63-21.
Yeah.
What the fuck are we talking about?
Yeah.
And I believe the Raiders got better. They got better in the offseason. They brought in Brock Bowers. They brought in Pro Bowl
Christian
quarterback
Wilkins.
Gardner Minshew, right? And the Chargers, what the hell did they do? They traded everybody. They said fire sale, take Keenan Allen, take Mike Williams, take
national
Eckler.
champion winning coach.
Okay.
Resurrect
Yeah,
that franchise.
Jim Harbaugh, that's crazy to me. I don't understand why the market is so high on the Chargers this year. I don't understand what they've done. You know what the one key is going to be in this game? The Los Angeles Chargers for the past 5 years have been inept at stopping the run.
It's true.
Zamir White is going to run all over them. Give me the Raiders to go ahead and take down the Los Angeles Chargers. Play it on the money line, +130.
I like it. So, Cleveland at home. Flacco's not there.
No.
Deshaun Watson's playing quarterback. Give me the under all day, Dallas and Cleveland. I have no idea what the weather's supposed to look like, but it probably won't matter. In Cleveland, Cleveland's defense is locked down, shut down.
Yeah.
I mean, Dallas has had their ups and downs through the offseason. They've had some things going on down there. We've talked about how Dallas really just didn't do anything in the offseason to get any better. They still have
to run the ball. That's for damn sure.
Exactly. I mean, they still have some studs, but Cleveland's back end's pretty good. And that dude, Myles Garrett's still up front trying to get after the quarterback. Now, am I the biggest Myles Garrett fan? No, TJ Watt's better. But come on. We know how offenses usually trail behind defenses early on in the league or in the season. And I'm taking the under. And I think I put this in a week ago.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that this is one that I think it's a close game, but ultimately, I don't think that Dallas is going to be able to pass on this defense like they are a lot of defenses in the league. And I think the Browns offense without Nick Chubb and with some questions on the offense line and big question at quarterback, it's going to be tough there. We got Ryan in the chat saying Harbaugh already stole the Raiders sign. Look, I don't give a damn. He can't steal Zamir White running through the middle of his fucking defense. So I will still take that. But if I do see Connor Stallion's ass on the sideline, I got to be worried at that.
I mean, I like me some Josh Palmer this year, but Devontae Adams all day.
Have we forgot how big of a stud he is? All right, we got our last locks, and then we're gonna do our D-Zen parlay and get out of here because we got a game to watch.
Yep, go for it.
Philly. Do you know this? You know I have to feel good about this to give this out. I fucking hate the Eagles. I know look, audience, we're getting just acclimated here. It's NFL week 1. I'm a Giants fan. I fucking hate the Philadelphia Eagles, but I think they're going to put it on Green Bay. I think that Green Bay is a very young team who's kind of catching that hype train from how they performed in the playoffs. Don't get me wrong. I love seeing them beat Dallas because fuck Dallas. But Green Bay is getting a little bit too overhyped for me. I think Philadelphia, especially early in the season, they're a really good team, as much as I hate to say it. We'll wait until this back half of the season for them to fall apart and that city to crumble. But the offensive line for the Packers is a huge concern for me. I talked about you have a 7th-round guy starting at left tackle now. You've got some question marks there. Their defense was very hot and cold last year. They were awful, and then all of a sudden they turned it on. I don't really think that's sustainable. I think the Eagles, they've got A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith, Dallas Goedert, Benedict Barkley, as much as I hate to say it. They improved their offense. If you want to add Jahan Dotson in there as well. And their defense, they really drafted to the cornerback position with Cooper DeJean and Quinyon Mitchell there. So I think that the Eagles handle the Packers actually pretty easily. Give me the -2 at -112.
I like it. So my last one is Denver, the Broncos at +6. I'm a little higher on the Broncos than most this season, and it really comes back to Sean Payton is there. He has never lost or never won less than 7 games in an NFL season. Excuse me. I know you bring in a rookie quarterback. He was in college for 12 years, I think. Seattle is bringing in a rookie head coach, and Seattle's offense is. I just don't know what to really say about it. I mean, Geno Smith. I'm not a big Geno Smith guy. Nope. I will say they do have some playmakers all over the place, but give me Denver to keep it close. I wouldn't take a money line probably, but keep it within I'd say a 3-4 point game.
Yeah, no, I like it. This is a team that, and you brought it up to me. I don't know how the fuck they won 8 games last year. Sean Payton actually might be a good coach. And that was when they were like trying to fail to get Russ out of town. Yep. I'm low on the Seahawks. I will be playing this out in Vegas. I will be playing Broncos on the money line. I think Geno, look, you got Tyler Lockett dealing with old man knees. You had Geno Smith dealing with a hip and a knee injury. I don't think Geno Smith is good. I don't know why. He had one good season where he failed in the last part of that season.
Yep.
Like, I don't know why we're all of a sudden thinking he's some great player. Yep. Like, I think Sam Howell has a decent shot to be starting by.
Oh, yeah. And that's part of the reason why I'm so high on Kenneth Walker this year is because
I do like Kenneth Walker. Yep.
Geno is he's Geno,
How do you feel comfortable laying 6 points with the Seahawks right now? I just don't think you can. Right. It's one of the biggest spreads of the week. I don't like the Seahawks are what have they done?
Exactly.
So, I mean, yeah, I actually really like that. All right, folks, we are going to give out our Degen parlay and then get the hell out of here because we got a game to watch. So before we do that, let me tell you about a couple of our sponsors here. First up, Rhythm. That is right, folks. Look, we're talking models. That's right. Perk your ears up. We're talking sports betting models. And did you know our proud partner, Rhythm, is the #1 AI-powered sports betting platform that helps us provide bettors at all levels the ability to build custom predictive betting models in seconds and get predictions for betting on money lines, spreads, totals, and props. Look, folks, this was made by MIT quants, guys way smarter than us. A lot of, I don't want to say nerds, but fucking nerds. Look, trust the nerds here. Not only do they have their own models that they will provide to you, no, don't get excited. We're not talking about the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. We're talking about sports bets. Rein it in, folks. But you can make your own model. Whether you pick at what stats matter to you. Hey, I'm a guy who likes time of possession. I'm a guy who likes, whatever the fuck you like. You can make your own model. And how often can you say you can do that? Probably don't tell the wife, like, I'm dealing with models over here. Probably just, make sure you start off with, this is Rhythm. They're a bunch of nerds over here. And then don't get yourself in trouble. But claim your 7-day free trial by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. And then game time. Because holy shit, guys. Well, they told us 8:20. It looks like it's pushed back to 8:40, but we'll still get you out of here in time. It's almost game time. And if it's almost game time, that means you need to use game time. last stop shop for your last minute tickets, your go-to app, and we'll make the deal a little bit sweeter. Use promo code SGPN and you will get $20 off your first deposit. Maybe you want to catch one of these games. Maybe you want to go out on a limb and, go to one of these shitty college schools and just try to get to all the stadiums. Maybe you saw the guy that's the campus tour guy that's going to all the stadiums and going to this Maction. You're like, yeah, fuck it. I'll go for like $10. What, 10 minus 20? Do they pay you $10? Is that how that works? To
I
go
mean,
to
it should.
I mean,
it really should.
Might be,
give you some extra beer money. I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. So, hey, everybody can use a deal this time of year. So go to Game Time, use promo code SGPN. All right. My personal favorite part of the show. Look, folks, we got degrees and we pretend we're smart and all this shit. But at the end of the day, at heart, we're degens just like you. We are degenerates. So we're, of course, going to be playing some of these plays that I could fucking retire. I mean, Uncle Sam's not going to like it. I'll probably take me a while to get out. But if this shit hits, we're fucking golden. All right?
Right.
So I think you're up first. Oh, I'm up first. All right.
You're up first.
Here we go.
Slight miss graphic there. Forgot to edit that.
Please
one. My bad.
send all emails and all fan mail into Derek and complain about he fucked up our graphic here because I don't have a single tight end in my graphic. But he was just giving himself a little teaser into his play. Selfish bastard. But look, folks, my DGen's only parlay for this week. Josh Jacobs, 2 touchdowns. David Montgomery, 2 touchdowns. Zamir White, 100+ rush yards. 306-1. Look, folks. It's 306-1. So I'm not going to go on this whole monologue telling you about how this is a lock and going to hit. But Josh Jacobs walks into a situation where Marshawn Lloyd has been dealing with injuries all offseason, the rookie. Emmanuel Wilson has been banged up, limited. A.J. Dillon is out for the season with a neck injury.
Yep.
He might get 100 fucking touches. Now, I know I just talked about how I like the Eagles, but there's no reason the Packers can't score a couple touchdowns. I don't think the Eagles' defense is impenetrable. And I think Josh Jacobs has shown if you get down in the goal line and you hand him the ball, he can knock it in there. So David Montgomery's easy. Look, he's the number 1 back there in Detroit, no matter what Fantasy Nerd tells you about Jahmyr Gibbs. He's a Dan Campbell guy. I think they're going to absolutely put it on the Los Angeles Rams. Give me Montgomery there. And Zamir White, we just talked about it. The Chargers can't stop the damn run. I don't give a damn what Harbaugh signs he has or whatever. He doesn't have a sign. I will read the sign that is the Chargers playbook right now. Antonio Pierce is going to open up on the sideline. He's going to say, run the damn ball.
Yep.
That's all it takes. All right, folks. Jacobs, 2+ touchdowns. Montgomery's 2+ touchdowns. Zamir White, 100+ yards. 306-1. Easy as that. What do you got?
So we're going all tight ends with this one. We're going anytime touchdown on Sunday. Looks like I forgot to change this one too, but we'll go with it. So Greg Dulcich out in Denver, Dalton Schultz down in Houston, and Brock Bowers out there in Las Vegas, all to score a touchdown. Really, Denver wide receivers. Who do they really have besides Courtland Sutton? Exactly.
Nobody.
Exactly. So I'm gonna say that the rookie Bo Nix ends up using a tight end once they get down closer to that end zone to score. Dalton Schultz is a big target for CJ Stroud to find inside the 10-yard line. And then Brock Bowers might be the hardest working rookie coming into this season. We know how much of a study
his hairline definitely
Georgia
shows it. He looks like a 40-year-old hardworking manual.
That's true. That's true. So I think all 3 of them get in the end zone in some fashion today or this weekend, and that is 71-1. Lock it in.
Hey,
I've already bet it.
I like me a good tight end, so I can't complain about that one. All right, folks.
I thought about throwing Hunter Henry in there too, because who is Brissett going to throw it to?
They would have to score a touchdown for that to hit. But
that's the question.
that I think that is, what would you like? Geez, the line. I wonder what the line is for the Patriots to just score a damn touchdown. I mean, hey. But look, folks, that's what to expect from our Thursday show. We're right about the hour mark here. We're coming up in the hour. Now, this game looks like it's kicking off at 8:40 now. based on what DraftKings is telling me, a little bit of weather, but we're going to get you in and out. So, hey, everybody loves a nice little pregame. College football, tailgating. We all miss college. You want to tailgate. You want to pregame a little bit. Come pregame with us every Thursday. We're going to be rocking and rolling.
Crack a bottle.
Crack a bottle. Look, hey, man, it's Thursday. Shit. Hey, I don't got work tomorrow. I'm going Vegas. So we're going to have a good time. But, hey, we hope you enjoyed the show.
Tomorrow. I can't be doing that too much.
If you did enjoy the show, look, we're a new show. So we appreciate every like, every comment, every bit of feedback. We're trying to make the show better. We're trying to make it more entertaining. And, of course, we're trying to win you some money. So we hope you tail us this week. We hope you come back next week and tell a friend. Shit, it wouldn't hurt. All right. What do you got for the good people?
Hey, best of luck to all of you this weekend with all of your bets. We got 4 or 5 straight days of nothing but football.
Yep. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. Quick flash of the socials there. Follow us on, we talked about it. We ran through injuries pretty damn quick today. So make sure you follow us on all these to make sure you're getting the full up to date for everything you need to know. But all right, folks, you know what they say. A lock a day keeps the bookie away. And we've got your prescription over here on the Degen Docs. So from us here at the Degen Docs, we wish you luck in your bets this week, unless you're fading us. And let's have a hell of a week. All right, we are out of here.
Ride.
What's up, Degens? Doc here. As a proud member of the U.S. Army and a lover of football, sometimes those two things cross over on here. But as you probably already know, as a lowly captain, these are just my opinions. These are not opinions that are representative of the entire DoD or the U.S. Army. The same thing goes for any references to any commercial products or hyperlinks. Again, that does not constitute an endorsement from the DoD or the Army. I hope you enjoyed the show, and as always, let it ride, baby.